Nuclear war and the invasion of Iran, March 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have I given you guys these dates? How many times have I said the same thing? And, you know, even before Donald Trump was elected, like go back through my videos and I've said, Donald Trump will invade Iran March 2026. You know, and people are in the comments, oh, Sean, Donald Trump's not going to get elected. Donald Trump's going to bring peace and prosperity. And then I started to look into Donald Trump and his 15-minute cities. I mean, freedom cities, exactly the same thing. Guys, listen, what we are seeing right now from America, from the latest press briefing, from the United States are exactly what I've been saying. The United States is going to go into Iran March 2026 because they're the only country who can go into Iran March 2026. This is going to be with their regional allies who are Israel. You know, and this thing has this is already set in stone. This was set in stone on the 1st of November, 2023, with House Resolution 559 that was passed in the United States that clearly states a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable to the United States, and the United States will take all action necessary to prevent it. And then it goes on to say they will also support anybody in the region that will facilitate that, i.e. Israel. So when we look at this holistically, ladies and gentlemen, this has been in the making for a long time. And I can go back further and further and say how this is, you know, this was already planned. Now, what's come out recently, in fact, let me show you guys a short video. Hang on, let me see which one it is. Yes, it's that one. Now, what, I hope it's this one, actually. It might be a wrong one.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job. Do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible.
Sorry, that's going through twice. Right, guys, so listen, what's happening here is, like Donald Trump saying there, the U.S. are going to take over the Gaza Strip and they're going to redevelop that and make it into nice houses. This is not going to be a 15-minute city. This is going to be a freedom city. This is going to be some sort of a freedom city, something totally different to a 15-minute city. Because remember, 15-minute cities are bad. What Donald Trump's going to build are freedom cities. Anyway, what people are forgetting when we're talking about this is the geographic location of the Gaza Strip in context of the Mediterranean. Now, once let's rewind actually before the 7th of October attack. The Israelis, the Jordanians, and the Saudi Arabians had agreed on a trade route, on a land corridor, basically that would join that part of the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean. So it would be a land route through Saudi Arabia, through Jordan, through Israel, onto the Mediterranean. Now, if this trade route would have started, then that would have cut the Iranians' influence out of the Middle East overnight, because the only real influence that the Iranians have is their geographical location in context to the the crossing between the Persian Gulf, what's it called? I'm totally at loss, guys. You guys tell me in the comments. But Strait of Hormuz. But as soon as the Iranians lose the control over the Strait of Hormuz, where some people say 20% of the world's oil goes through, that means they're kind of irrelevant in that region. Now, opening up this trade route would have made the people in Gaza, it would have brought them on, it would have given them prosperity. Because if there's trade coming through to Israel, you know, by de facto, the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians would have profited from that themselves as well. So I believe, and it's my speculation, that that's why the Iranians pushed on that and made that 7th of October attack happen. But let's just listen to this again and listen to what he's... In fact, you know what, guys? We're not, because I want to keep this video short. Now, if we understand what's happening here with this alliance, and what I always say, forget what the lackeys say, forget what the minions say, forget what the lower echelon operators say. The only thing that matters, ladies and gentlemen, and I've said this so many times, the only thing that matters is those two world leaders, the two guys at the top. If those two guys have a meeting, whatever happens in that meeting will happen. It doesn't matter what the diplomats and the little political groups go and say and flim-flammer. None of that matters, guys, okay? Whatever those two guys at the top have said. So what I can speculate is you're going to see things start to happen, potentially not this Friday, but maybe next Friday. Now, what Donald Trump's saying there is he's going to go in there. The United States are going to take control over that part of the Gaza Strip that's been leveled, it's been rubberized, and they're going to build it into a new, beautiful, I think he even used the word Riviera, a Riviera of the Middle East. Now, the question is, who's going to go and live there? Is that going to be the Palestinians? Are they going to have access back there? And what kind of control methods are going to be on the people who live there? Ladies and gentlemen, I believe what we're seeing now is the fabrication of the first purpose-built 15-minute cities. I really do. I see that on its way. Now, let me share this other article with you guys. And, you know, we'll talk about how why there has to be an invasion of Iran. Trump signs memo aiming to block Iran from achieving a nuclear weapon. Now, again, this thing is, you know, this thing's pretty, I mean, this was signed in, what was it, 2023. So it's kind of like non-news, but the fact that they're bringing it out and Donald Trump is talking about it again, you know, this means that that's the direction of travel. And remember, this has all happened as soon as Netanyahu has gone to visit Donald Trump. One of the other things he said was, you know, if the Iranians keep going with their nuclear program, he would, you know, he would assist, or what did he say? I can't remember the exact words. Let me try and search for it quickly. He said something like, you know, the right, I can't find it right now, but he said something like, you know, if they can't do this economically, then the United States would support Israel with airstrikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, this is absolutely absurd, thinking that you can take these things out by the air. It's ridiculous. From 2003, the Iranians will have watched the amount of air power that the United States can bring to bear. The United States, you know, that the United States can bring to bear. And again, we know this is Israel, but at the moment, you know, it's kind of synonymous. It doesn't really matter. So the amount of air power that the United States and Israel can bring to bear on Iran is absolutely, like, it's overwhelming. Nobody can deal with it. So what I believe the Iranians will have done is all their nuclear facilities now, they will have just taken them deep, deep, deep underground. And not only deep, deep, deep underground, they will have put these things under mountains, under huge amounts of earth above them. You know, there's lots of mountainous regions in northern northern Iran, you know, really beautiful regions, actually. So the only way to stop the Iranian, you know, the Iranian nuclear facilities, the Iranian nuclear project, is to have boots on the ground. That is the only way, ladies and gentlemen. There isn't another way. And the only way to get boots on the ground is to send in, and it has to be an amphibious assault. Now, this brings us back to the drones that were seen over New Jersey. You know, these drones that were seen over New Jersey, I've done like quite a few videos saying what these drones actually were. And if you're going to, you know, if you're going to send your troops into a country, guess what? You need to conduct reconnaissance. So why are the United States not going to utilize this new technology of drones, drone warfare, quadcopters that can be launched from the sea to go and conduct the reconnaissance over the south coast of Iran? You know, and I even told you guys what I believe this was they were operating from, the Northrop Grumman Manta Ray, and that is an underwater drone. It's well capable of housing several quadcopter UAVs, launch them from the sea, recover them from the sea. Then those Manta Ray drones go and, you know, dock with a submarine that's off the coast, maybe 100. It doesn't really matter how many miles away it is. And then the technicians come out, they refurbish those drones, put them back in and send them back out again for the next mission. This is what's going to happen on the south coast of Iran. And I'm saying March 2026, because that's the earliest that it can happen. And if you go for, and it has to happen in March because the weather is right in March. So that's the earliest it can happen. If you wait till March 2027, you're starting to look like Trump will not have enough time in office to see this thing through. If we look at March 2025, there's just not enough time. There's not enough time to build up the anti-Iran rhetoric. There's not enough time to build up the logistics. There's not enough time to get the troops in place. It just doesn't work. So what I'm seeing is an invasion of Iran March 2026. I've done so many videos about this, guys. Remember, this all goes back to House Resolution 559 that was passed by the United States that clearly states that a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all happening. We're watching the end of the world in HD. Anyway, guys, I'm going to Mag to Grin. I'll get you guys another video later.